Something didn't add up about Mr. Blonde. The guy walks into a jewelry store heist, the alarm goes off, and instead of keeping it clean, he starts gunning down people like he's been waiting for the excuse. But here's the thing. This wasn't random, and it wasn't just madness. This was something deeper, a shift, and everyone around him missed it until it was already too late. Now, if you're thinking, well, he was just nuts from the start, I get it. But hold that thought, because if he was such a loose cannon, why did the people who knew him best put their trust in him? Nice Guy Eddie, for example, wasn't just familiar with Blonde, he trusted him more than anyone else in that warehouse. When the crew was figuring out who would stay behind with the wounded cop and the bleeding Mr. Orange, Eddie didn't hesitate. He pointed at Blonde. Why would he do that if Mr. Blonde was known to be a psycho? He wouldn't. And Mr. White even calls this out. We can't leave these guys with him, he says, warning Eddie straight up that this guy's a psycho. But Eddie brushes it off, clearly believing Mr. Blonde is still the same man who did 4 years for his father without snitching. Eddie saw Blonde as rock solid, someone who'd proven loyalty under pressure. And yet, just moments later, Eddie returns to find his friend dead on the floor, the cop covered in blood, and Mr. Orange barely holding on. Mr. Orange tells him, Blonde went crazy. He slashed the cop's face, cut off his ear, and was gonna burn him alive. Eddie's response? He kills the cop on the spot. Even after hearing what Blonde supposedly did, Eddie still can't believe it. You're a liar, he says to Mr. Orange. The man you killed was just released from prison. He could have walked away. All he had to do was say my dad's name. But instead, he shut his mouth and did his time. He did 4 years for us, and he did them like a man. But here's where it really turns. After all that doubt, Mr. Pink checks the cop's body and confirms he's right about the ear. It's hacked off. That's when the horror starts to sink in for Eddie, and that's when we should start asking the real question. If Mr. Blonde was that loyal, that trusted, that unshakable, what happened to him? It's Tarantino who gave us the answer in an interview.
Apparently something has happened in jail where some, switch got flipped.
Prison didn't just harden him, it rewired something. He wasn't always like this. Back at the warehouse, when Mr. White blows up at him, he yells, "You're the reason we're in this mess." Mr. Blonde just sips his soda and shrugs. Mr. White calls him out again. That shooting spree in the store. And Blonde's answer? F*** 'em. They set off the alarm. They deserve what they got. That's not the voice of someone who lost control. That's someone who believes that what he did was justified. He's calm, even smug, detached. This is the kind of detachment that doesn't just come from the heat of the moment. It comes from years of suppressing something. Years of becoming someone else. Mr. Blonde didn't go crazy during the heist. That switch flipped long before the alarm bell ever rang. Somewhere between prison walls and promises made. And once it flipped, there was no going back. No one ever really knew who Mr. Blonde was, and that's the beauty of his character. The transformation was real, but the tragedy is that those closest to him couldn't see it coming. Not because it wasn't there, but because he never let them see it. That's what makes him so terrifying.